The Carabao Cup champions have made a statement, smashing 4 past Bradford City on a day when Osula shined. So from Joelinton's monster class, to Will Osula's brilliance, to discussing why Eddie Howe's Newcastle is evolving. We'll also reveal the massive comments dropped by Yoane Wissa amid his potential return. As per, join us as we'll break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned in Newcastle United, 4 Bradford City 1.
I gotta own up to it.
Let's go.
So the first thing we learned was the midfield brilliance. Lewis Miley took risks with his passing, some successful, others costly, and one error led to Bradford's goal. Crucially, he didn't let the mistake affect his overall performance. The heat map showed how involved he was, constantly imposing himself in midfield and always making himself available for the ball. He played a clever pass through to Osula, though the forward couldn't finish. Defensively, he was proactive, making 6 key recoveries, winning 6 of 9 duels, and recording the most tackles of any Newcastle player, second overall in the match. As the game progressed, he settled into the holding role, dictating the tempo with calm distribution. He ended with 120 touches, completing 101 of 110 passes, 92%, including 3 key passes, 1 accurate cross, 2 long balls, and 1 big chance created. He also completed his only attempted dribble. His control was so influential that Bradford added another midfielder at halftime specifically to mark him. He finished with a 7.2 match rating, underlining his importance to Newcastle's midfield. As Eddie Howe said after the game, "I thought Louis was excellent. He really helped us in the first half. Some lovely little deft touches and short passes into midfield, using Joe and Bruno as a springboard to control that midfield. He's developing all the time and I'm really pleased with him." So with Miley sitting deep, Joelinton and Bruno acted as springboards to control the midfield, and both delivered. Bruno Guimarães looked a little off early with some sloppy passing, but quickly took charge and became the game's creative hub. He created the most chances of any player, threading a brilliant through ball for Osula's goal and clipping several classy lofted passes wide. A cheeky nutmeg in his assist for the 3rd goal highlighted his influence, but by taking 5 shots, hitting the woodwork, missing 1 big chances, he could easily have scored himself. But still, he finished with an 8.4 match rating, 2 assists, 117 touches, 87 out of 95 passes, meaning 92% passing accuracy, 4 key passes, 1 accurate cross, 4 out 5 long balls, 2 big chances created, 2 out 2 successful dribbles, and 5 out of 8 ground duels won. Alongside him, Joelinton delivered a powerhouse display, earning a 9.8 match rating. He opened the scoring with a lovely first touch and precise finish, then doubled his tally with another composed strike. Beyond his goals, he brought constant energy and physicality, winning 7 out of 10 duels. He ended with 2 goals, 81 touches, 58 out of 67 accurate passes, meaning an 87 passing accuracy, 3 key passes, and 1 big chance created. It was truly dominant all-round performance from Big Joe, who received the Man of the Match award. Eddie Howe praised the midfield, saying, "Everyone expects turning up here that we score early. Well, there's a hope that we score early and dominate the game. But it's never that easy because you have to earn the right to do that. And we had to earn the right to do that with our technical qualities today, because we had a lot of the ball. That's why I was really pleased with some of the interplay. Lewis Miley I thought was really good in a lower position today, and Bruno and Joelinton I thought they dominated the midfield battle." Then the second thing we learned was the Osula brilliance. His striker instincts and intelligent movement consistently put him in dangerous positions. He played on the shoulder of defenders and was a constant threat, recording the highest XG in the match, 1.93. Despite missing 3 big chances, he showed his finishing ability by scoring twice, first to make it 2-0, then again after moving out to the right wing in the second half, where he continued to impress. Osula's work rate stood out once more, making him a relentless presence in attack. That's now 5 goals in 5 starts, underlining his impact. He ended the game with an 8.2 match rating, 2 goals, 2 out of 3 successful dribbles, 94% passing accuracy, and 5 out of 11 duels won. So as the 22-year-old Dane scored the Magpies' second and final goals against the League One leaders at St James's Park to highlight his development, and with record signing Nick Woltemade still coming to terms with English football and Yoane Wissa injured, he has been told he could get his chance amid a hectic schedule. When asked how near Osula is to starting a league game, Howe said, "It depends on my team selection, obviously. He's done himself no harm today. That will have done him the world of good on so many different levels. As a striker, you need to have that feeling. This was an opportunity he needed to grab, and he did. It's the same for any player, so he puts himself very much in the forefront of my thoughts." Then, moving on to the wing struggles. On the left wing, Anthony Gordon was lively throughout, drifting inside and threading threatening passes. He earned an 8.9 match rating, completing 3 out 4 dribbles, making 3 key passes, and creating 2 big chances. With 74 touches and a 91% passing accuracy, he combined flair with efficiency, also winning all 7 of his duels. The only frustration was his finishing. From 6 shots, second most in the match, he should have found the net. On the right wing, Anthony Elanga endured a disappointing outing. This was a chance to open the £55 million signings Newcastle account, but even when he reached dangerous positions, he lacked the final product. His notable contribution was 1 shot on target, while he failed with all 3 dribble attempts and missed a big chance. With Jacob Murphy continuing to deliver in the final third, the question resurfaces. Have people overlooked Murphy's consistency, just as they did last season when he outperformed even Elanga himself? However, with Anthony Elanga struggling, Nick Woltemade came on in the 68th minute. His heat map showed him operating more like a midfielder than a striker, and while he didn't directly threaten goal, he had a big influence in linking play. Woltemade completed 16 of 17 passes, 94%, including 2 key passes, creating openings for players like Barnes that went unfinished. It was a promising cameo, underlining his intelligence in possession and hinting at the exciting prospect of him combining with Yoane Wissa in future. Further evidence of Newcastle's sharp recruitment and growing unpredictability in attack. In the event of probable competition with Woltemade, which is likely, Wissa himself has made it clear he embraces the challenge. The 29-year-old, currently targeting a return after the international break with Brighton penciled in as a possible debut, spoke to the Matchday programme about the young German. "I watched a couple of his games at the Under-21 Euros this summer, and I spoke to my former teammate Vitaly Janelt and said, 'He's good, this guy,' which he agreed. I think he's a good player who is able to play anywhere because he's very skillful. When you come to a big club, there is always competition, and we need to be able to push each other and make sure we are in the best position as a team. We want to achieve success as a team. It's not about individual players. I'm happy to have another great player joining the club as we have more chance of winning. But tell me, with both Wissa and Woltemade fit, who would you pick?" Then we also learned about the defensive evolution. In goal, Aaron Ramsdale was forced into an important save within the opening seconds, a crucial moment, as conceding that early could have completely changed the game. He finished with a 7.2 match rating, 3 saves, 2 from inside the box, along with 1 punch and 1 high claim. What stood out even more when looking at his heat map was how often he operated outside the box, even more so than Nick Pope typically does, showing his world level of involvement when Newcastle have the ball. Ramsdale also impressed with his distribution. He played some pinpoint forward passes under pressure, showing real composure with the ball at his feet. He ended the match with 39 touches, completing 29 of 30 passes for a remarkable 97% passing accuracy, including 3 out of 4 accurate long balls. He could do little about Bradford's goal, but overall, despite Pope being in strong form, Ramsdale looks like a solid option who might even bring more value to Newcastle's play. But what do you think? On the other hand, with Fabian Schär, 33, and Dan Burn, also 33, entering the latter stages of their careers, Newcastle fans will be encouraged by the showing of Malik Thiaw and Sven Botman, who looked every inch a future centre-back pairing. Sven Botman earned a 6.9 rating. Despite 1 error leading to a shot and being beaten once, he was otherwise solid, making 5 clearances and 1 block, while seeing plenty of the ball with 96 touches. His distribution was excellent, completing 83 out of 86 passes, with a 97% accuracy, and he also won 6 out of 8 duels. Malik Thiaw was even more assured with a 7.1 rating. He wasn't dribbled past once, registered 4 clearances, 3 interceptions, and 1 tackle. On the ball, he was composed, completing 70 out of 73 passes with a 96% accuracy, including 5 out of 6 long balls, and he won 3 out of 4 duels. At left back, Lewis Hall deserves a big mention after posting a 7.2 rating. Defensively, he contributed 1 clearance, 1 interception, and 2 tackles, and he wasn't beaten once. On the ball, he had 82 touches and completed 62 out of 70 passes, with an 89% accuracy, creating danger with 3 key passes, 1 accurate cross, and 2 out of 2 long balls. He also won 4 out of 6 duels, and with sharper finishing from his teammates, he could easily have collected assists. Considering this was only his second start in 4 days after a lengthy foot injury, he looked sharp and is clearly edging back towards his best level. Overall, Newcastle deserved the victory as they dominated in every metric from field tilt, possession, shots and XG. As Bruno Guimarães said, "Happy to progress in the League Cup. Away the lads and see you on Sunday."